So I'm starting the first of my Playmates videos not with a ship, but with a Starfleet phaser. This was one that I picked up from Gareth's store, and I actually thought I'd lost it at one point, but then I discovered it again, lurking behind another box. So happily, I can bring it to you now. Now, this was of interest to me because I actually had to go back and look at the Star Trek The Motion Picture in order to find an example of where this showed up, because it says on the front of the box, from Star Trek The Motion Picture and The Wrath of Khan. And I do remember it very distinctly from The Wrath of Khan being used to destroy one of the mind control creatures. I'm pretty sure I'm not making that up, but I haven't actually gone back to The Wrath of Khan to look at that. If I am correct, I might try and include a little tiny clip of that, although that will probably get copyright hit fairly rapidly if I try it. However, there is a security officer in the motion picture who very clearly does have one of this class of phaser strapped to his belt, in exactly the same way that this box says you can clip it to the belt of your waistband, just there, because it does in fact clip to your waistband, and in fact that's exactly where I've got it at the moment, attached to my belt, so I can grab it later. So we can see here, this is the classic sort of Playmates logo there down the bottom right, and they did various other elements of sort of cosplay type items, but I just happened to pick this up because it was available to me pretty easy. I wasn't particularly looking for it, but I can see that these would be of use to those who are sort of inclined to do cosplay and so on. I mean, it's probably not completely screen accurate, but by the same token, if you just want something that looks broadly correct, I think you could probably do worse. It has a light up phaser energy beam emitter, flashing light up power charge status indicators, 2 authentic phaser discharge sounds, stun and disrupt, and it clips to the belt of the waistband as mentioned. Authentic lights and sounds from the movies, and it does sound pretty much right, I have to say. So there's the side info there. This one was originally from BT's, as many of these things were from back in the day, in Britain at least. And a bit more information there. Stock number 16081. And is that an asset number, possibly 16080? So just all the same stuff as is on the front, basically. And again, similar sort of bump on the side there. And then a little bit more detail on the back, just telling you what's what. So I'll leave you to have a look at that there. So what have we got here? So you can choose a power setting, press the trigger to light up the beam emitter, monitor the light up status indicators to confirm power levels, power setting dial, flashing light up power charge status indicators, light up phaser energy beam, firing trigger. The trigger is actually quite nice because it's very well blended with the grip, so it's not sort of an obvious plastic trigger, which I think is quite clever of them. I think that was quite a nice design touch. So even I've got to squint at this, and I'm right next to it. The Type 2 Starfleet Phaser is the defensive armament of choice when exploring strange new worlds. This weapon delivers phased energy through an emitter beam capable of stunning an attacker when no other alternative is available. It can also be used to cut through metal alloys or to heat inorganic materials. All Starfleet officers should review Federation policy regarding the use of this powerful weapon on landing party missions. In Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, Admiral James T. Kirk's landing party armed themselves with these phasers to search the Regular One space laboratory for the dangerous Khan Noonien Singh. Kirk used his phasers to destroy the SETI eel that had crawled out of Commander Pavel Chekhov, and that's the thing I was thinking of earlier, actually. So this is copyright 1996, I believe. If I hold that a little bit closer, you should be able to see that there. So this is sort of relatively late, as I understand it, in terms of how long the Paramount Playmates tie-up was sort of lasting. I assume it was Paramount back in the day. Yeah, it is Paramount Pictures there. That's why I said that, because I just read it. Do not mix old and new batteries. Do not mix alkaline, standard, carbon, zinc, or rechargeable nickel cadmium batteries. Batteries are included for demonstration purposes only and may need to be replaced by the customer. Well, of course, I've added new batteries in order to show it to you. And there's an ad there for the oops, sorry, that's out of focus. There's an ad there for the official Star Trek fan club as well. So you get star points apparently for this as well, 2 star points. So there you go. But that's, you know, it's I like the fact they've gone they've put that on the back, because I like when the packaging goes to the effort to sort of give a little bit of sort of in-universe information on the merchandise. I think it's a nice thing for them to do. So let's have a look at this. If I can now retrieve it from my belt. Oops, there we go. So this is the actual phaser itself. As you can see, it will stand up by itself. So it's a good size. Considering it was ostensibly designed for small hands, it's quite a decent size, I think. So even my hands will quite happily go around it. It just lights up like this. So I think that might be, you can see these light up on the top there as well. Wait just a minute, in fact I'll kill one of my lights off so you can see that a bit more clearly. And then you just turn this to the other setting. Or if I turned it enough, it would do. So it's a very obvious light up. That's sort of the belt clip on the side there. So it does what it says on the tin. You know, it does only have 2 settings, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. And as you can see, you know, the trigger, as I say, is very cleverly done, because it's exactly the same colour as the grip plastic, but it's quite soft. So you don't really sort of notice it terribly, and it doesn't depress very much when you actually fire either. So it's pretty, you know, all in all, I think it's pretty cool. It's a good, you know, it's a reasonable sort of weight. You know, it's there, and it's got the batteries in. The batteries go in the bottom here, so that just comes off, and you slot batteries in there. And if the main bulb were to die, you can also replace the bulb through the bottom hatch there. So as I say, you know, it's cleverly thought through. But it's just not the sort of thing that I would particularly go for myself, because as I say, I'm more into the you know, the actual sort of Starship side of things. But I think it's quite cleverly done of its sort. It's quite cleverly done of its sort. And as I say, it was quite interesting just watching the motion picture back a little bit, just to see where this showed up in it. Because I figured the security guards must handle it, but I couldn't remember anyone actually using one in the motion picture as such. The other interesting thing about the motion picture was that I think I was watching a DVD I have of the director's edition, and it actually showed Vija as a ship. And for the life of me, I can't remember as a child watching that film picking up on the fact that it actually resolved into a ship towards the end when it's approaching Earth. I remember them saying that the cloud dissipated, but I didn't ever remember seeing the ship. And I've seen this ship as an Eaglemoss model and not picked it up before now, because I couldn't remember, and I thought, well, I don't even remember seeing it. But it is in the film, but presumably it was either only in the cinematic version or it's only in this director's edition that they actually show it. But perhaps somebody could tell me in the comments what the background to that was. But yeah, I just found it sort of kind of curious. I just didn't remember it being a thing at all. And then this time round, when I was looking for something completely different, I noticed it. So yeah, curious. But that is the Playmates Phaser from the early cinematic movies, just as a starter for 10, really, if nothing else, in this little series that I'm planning on doing. So I'm going to leave it there for this one. So do like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this as a concept. And in fact, before I go, I will just show you this, because I've even seen this on eBay as a separate item being sold. This is just what the instructions to it look like. So it's very, very straightforward. It's exactly what you'd expect, basically. It just tells you what everything is, where the batteries go, where the bulb is, and so on. But that is literally all that comes, well, all that came in my packaging. There probably would have been an inner the packaging, I suspect, to hold it in place. You could test it through the box, but I didn't have that, so I can't tell you exactly what that would have looked like. I don't think it would have. No, I think it's a solid unit, so I don't think you would have been able to separate it. So I guess in the box it was probably just sort of lying side on, and presumably you would have been able to just sort of test the trigger. So maybe the trigger would have been in there, and you would have kind of tested it like that, perhaps. That makes sense, doesn't it? Because you'd probably been able to reach the trigger through the box. So yeah, grand. Oh, that's one down, and quite a few more to come. So do like and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep in touch with these, and I'll aim to release them on a weekly basis, I think, from this point. So cheers for now.